Howdy, y'all, and welcome to Political Us. A couple of weeks after the November election, we hosted our second virtual town hall entitled Expectations for the Next 4 Years. We asked friends and family from around America questions about what they expected the next 4 years under Joe Biden to look like. The goal was to hear what excited us, worried us, and what gave us hope. This series is to share our answers. I encourage you to listen in and afterwards, down in the comments, share your thoughts. It's the only way that we'll learn. One last thing. If you believe we need to make politics more about us, feel your opinion wasn't represented, or want to see more from this town hall, subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. More town halls are coming in the future and we want you to be involved. Our first question looks at how a Biden-Harris administration could let you down in the next 4 years. We want to know what success should look like for this administration. Enjoy! So the first question is specifically for the I voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris camp. So for expectations, how can a Biden and Harris presidency let you down in the next 4 years? What are the things that you think would let you down with the administration? Go ahead, Mark.
Okay. I would just say more bickering. It's been so divided. I don't think anything I don't know if Joe Biden personally could let me down or any one person down, but I'm hoping he's more of a unifying figure than maybe past presidents in the past 20, 30 years have been. That's my hope.
It's going to be really important for me to see the issue put forth about continuing to unify and to address the institutionalized racism that still exists, and also to see what can be done. It's as if in the past 4 years there's been a blank check written for a lack of civility and just humanity that really concerns me. The other pressing issue would be climate change. I really want to see some action taken around that.
No, there's some really good points. It's interesting that you bring up climate change because I often feel, and Nancy, this will maybe just a side question for a second. Would you say climate change was a big deal for you this time around?
It is. It has been for decades, but it seems to be, it doesn't seem, but we're getting clear indications that our planet is suffering and we're losing species, and we're not going to be able to sustain life on this planet unless we take some measures to change things.
Okay. Yeah, no, I know for me personally, I always kind of felt like maybe climate change was a little bit lower down for my priorities. So it's really nice to hear somebody else say oh no, it's still a big deal to me too. That's really nice. Who else has some opinions on how a Biden presidency could let you down in the next 4 years if they don't focus on X?
My biggest thing is that Biden got a lot of votes, but I'm not sure if it's votes based on his platform or based on not Trump. And because of that, Biden is traditionally a moderate Democrat, so almost leaning Republican. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to more progressive ideas, even with climate change and student debt and the issues, for example, millennials like myself are facing, I don't know if that's in their thoughts right now. And if it's not, then that sets us back possibly another 4 years, because Biden already said he's only going to do one term. I mean, I don't know if he will, but that has come up, and he's old. He's super old.
And that part is very true. That's kind of what this whole race was about, right? Two old white men. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah.
It's so. Are you concerned maybe it won't be progressive enough?
Yes, I'm concerned it won't be progressive enough, and it won't be enough forward thinking. Forgive me, what was her name? Just Nancy talking about climate change. Like, it won't be any regulations he puts back in place after Trump took them all off. Will it be enough? Because we were barely there to begin with. So if he's just taking us back to zero, we're not making progress.
So I would ask, and I look at Boye because I know we've had some conversations about, was Biden really the candidate, right? Because he was more moderate, like he was the one that was going to bring people in. But I would wonder, how do I put this? I wonder if he hadn't have been, would he even won in the first place? Would the Democratic candidate have even won?
No, because he got a lot of Republican voters on his side because he was more moderate. But Trump is, in my opinion, such a mess that if you like democracy, I hope most Americans do, then you're going to vote for Biden. If it was someone, for example, like Bernie, I don't think he would have made the same leeway, as much as I love Bernie.
That's true. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think at the end of the day, if it hadn't been, I think more people are I just want to get back to normal politics.
Yes.
Then I need the fire and brimstone. I'll tell you, I'm an Elizabeth Warren person. I have no shame in saying it. I'm an Elizabeth Warren person. But I think at the end of the day, that was probably the smartest play. And I want to be very clear because I think this is something that people don't necessarily understand. The Democrats didn't pick Biden, right? Like, it wasn't like we want Biden from the Democratic Party to represent us. That's who was voted in. That's what primaries were for. So I think that's a very important part to kind of always tagline in there, is that he wasn't picked by the national party. He was picked by the voters. Same thing for Trump. He was picked by the voters. All right, David, welcome to the session. If you're just listening in, I see you got your phone, but I just wanted to welcome you and acknowledge that, hey, we see you there.
Hello.
Okay. Hi. All right. Anybody want to add on to how a Biden presidency could let you down in the next 4 years?
Chris, I'll chime in. So my kind of, really my expectations of Biden and Harris is really just to kind of get us back to some level of civility that we haven't seen in a number of years. And this isn't just because of Trump. I think we saw a lot of outrage in Obama's years. And we kind of had this like pendulum of politics, and we keep going a little bit more to the right, a little bit more to the left, and all these extremes. I'm hoping we're going to be able to get some civility, a little bit centered in the middle, and then we can have some decent and less argumentative conversations. So if that doesn't happen over the next 4 years, I'm not expecting some grand plans to happen, but just to get it to the point where we can have conversations again. That doesn't happen. And, this seems to be more of a retaliatory measure over the next 4 years. And we see the left act in a similar way that the right has been, then I'd be let down at that point.
So if you see more of sort of the, I'm gonna use the term loosely. Well, that's my channel, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. If you see more of the believe what I want to believe and not what actually is happening in front of me, you can see that being a letdown?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Good point, Boye, good point. So the first question is, how can a Biden-Harris presidency let you down in the next 4 years?
Okay, and I'm afraid to answer that.
Okay, why is that?
Why? Because most of my biggest fears have to do with my beliefs, my moral beliefs. Is that the right words?
They're your words, fire away.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest way this administration could let me down is that A, things don't change, or that B, they change in a way that everything I believe in is just tossed away.
Okay. Kara, you want to add anything?
Well, I voted for President Trump, but I have always been kind of open, but I don't know how I just want to be able to pay for everything.
Jobs.
That's my thing. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm like, how are we going to pay for it? Let's just pay for it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, that's obviously a big concern with everybody. And I know we're going to talk the economy here in a little bit.
Hold on to your butts.
But I think to kind of give you guys a little bit about how I feel like it would let us down is I think if things stay as divisive as they are.
Oh gosh, yes.
To me, that's a major letdown. Like I'm okay. Like politically, we don't have to agree on things. I'm fine with that. But I want to get away from the chaos. I want to get away from every single morning and every single day being worried that the president is going to do something outlandish that someone else will take out of context. I think he does it. I think he does it to poke the bear. I don't think he necessarily believes half of what he says or text or tweets more accurately.
Right.
But I think there are a lot of people who have hung on to that, and that's very dangerous. I feel like just society-wise, we're in a very dangerous spot. I think people forget how delicate our democracy actually is. Our democracy hinges on trust. We have to trust that our fellow citizens understand and know what they're talking about. We have to trust that elected officials will ultimately do the job they're elected for, and that includes, voters and polling locations. We have to trust that, while I may have a concern about police tactics and police brutality, we have to trust the fact that the people that run police departments will do the best they can. We have to trust, Kara, a little bit to your point, that the Federal Reserve and large corporations will handle the economy the way they're supposed to. And I feel like he just adds Trump right now to me just adds such a large amount of distrust in everything that we got to get away from that. We don't trust scientists. We don't trust doctors. We don't trust, that masks work. We don't trust that, someone of, Hispanic descent, they're not coming to steal your job. Like these basic fundamental things.
Right.
That really we thought as a society we solved, 100 years ago, 60 years ago, shouldn't be a question anymore. I put in one of my other videos that we've gone away from, are Black people disenfranchised by a systematic society with tax laws and business, corporations and all these other things. Like we've got away from the finer details of that conversation to, do Black Lives Matter? Like that to me is like we've taken a giant step backwards. So for me, I think Harris and Biden, or Biden and Harris, let us down if we don't at least get back to actually arguing about real politics and not just
right.
how people look and what they believe and things that should have been fundamentally solved a long time ago. Brian, I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to add onto that to kind of help steer where the conversation's going.
Yeah, just, the platform was to, heal America. And, I would like to see that happen, bringing people together, getting rid of some of the animosity that people may have towards one to another. And let's get back to healing America and potentially, putting America back to where it's supposed to be. It's kind of, where what I'm looking for. And so if we, at the end of 4 years, we're still right where we are right now, then, we haven't succeeded anything.
That's it for this segment. If you like the conversation, make sure to hit that like button and let us know you enjoyed the content. Leave a comment if you have more to add, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thanks for watching and helping to make politics more about us.